to quit your job without burning a bridge. There are many different reasons that people want to leave their jobs. Either they're just kind of done there. Maybe they're in a situation where they don't like their boss is mean, verbally abusive. Maybe they've just grown past the position and there's not a chance for advancement in that company. Or maybe they've found another opportunity with better hours or better pay or better benefits. Whatever your reason is for leaving the company where you are, there are some things that you can do or not do, as the case may be, that can make or break your success with having a positive reference and leaving a positive impression on the people in the workplace that you are leaving. I have 5 must-do items when you are resigning from a position so that you will leave the business without burning your bridges, and you'll always have people who will say positive things for you and a positive reference. That is what we are talking about today, so stick around.
Guild coaching. More success, less stress.
Look, when you're in a workplace and you know that your days are limited, it is very easy to check out and to have a different attitude than you would normally have if you were planning on being there for a while. It's absolutely normal to not be as emotionally and mentally invested in something that you know is not going to be long-term. Just like any relationship, if you're dating someone and you know that you're going to break up with them, you're not going to continue to emotionally invest the way that you did when you thought that this could be a longer term commitment. So it's the same with your company, but there are several things that you must do or avoid doing if you want to successfully leave one job for another. And by successfully leaving one job for another, I don't mean just get out of there, get out of the building. Anybody can do that. But a successful exit is one where you leave a positive impression of yourself, where you know that whomever answers the phone, if someone ever calls there asking for a reference for you, you want whoever answers the phone to be able to have a positive comment. So don't just worry about what the human resources manager will say if somebody gives a reference or your boss. Worry about what the receptionist would say or what even the janitor would say. I remember when I was a hiring manager, I would get forwarded reference calls for people who didn't even work for me. And I would be clear, this person wasn't my direct report, but I can tell you a few things about them before forwarding you to the person you should have gone to, who was their direct manager. And I was always happy to do that for people for whom I would have something positive to say. If I wouldn't have anything positive to say, I would say, I'm not going to comment on this person, but I'll forward you on. But what you want is for someone always to be able to have a positive response when it comes to you and your time there. Even like me in that situation, even if it was someone who didn't supervise your work, you want them to be able to have some sort of something positive to say. Oddly, people will remember your total work product based on the last little bit that you're there. So write this down or type it in the chat. Go ahead down, open up a chat window in the comments section, type it into the comments. I want you to type this in because typing it in will help you to retain the information. There are 5 things that you really need to make sure that you're doing in order to have this smooth and positive exit where you won't just have a positive reference, but people will remember you fondly. Who doesn't want that? Number 1, be kind. It doesn't matter if you're leaving the workplace because you've been abused or people have been unkind to you. I read a quote, I believe it was by Rumi, possibly not. I may be misattributing this, but kindness, the real test of kindness, is being kind to the unkind. So even if you're leaving your workplace because it's an abusive place, you're very unhappy, you've been mistreated, that doesn't give you license to be unkind yourself. Always be kind. You will never regret being kind. The second point, write this down, put it into the comments below. The second point that you have to make sure that you are doing is that you're being humble. Let's say you're leaving for any reason, but you're leaving for another position. Having the attitude of, hey, suckers, I'm out of here and you're still here, or I got a better job, or I'm going to be making more money, or anything that is a negative, prideful thought or feeling, don't go there. Be humble. Be loving. Be invested and involved with those people while you are there, because while you are there, you do still work there. While you are there, you should still be invested in those people, in that place, and in that time. And along that vein, point number 3 is don't check out. Don't mentally check out. Like some people say when high schoolers are in their last couple of weeks of school or even months, they say that they have senioritis, meaning like they're checked out. They already know what the next step is for them. They don't really care what their grades are, or if they do, they don't care as much. Don't check out. Stay invested. Stay invested as though you're going to be there for the long term. While you're being kind and humble, still be helpful and do the work that makes you feel as though you have done your best. Because when you do your best, when you actually and honestly do give your best work, it feels better. So investing during those last days, it's actually a gift for yourself as well. One thing that's very important that I've always respected and admired about some people is that when they leave, they make sure to prime the place for the next person who comes in their place. So always leave your successor a good starting point. It's hard enough starting a new job, even though you might be sick of that place. The next person to come in, maybe they really need that job. Maybe they'll love it. Hopefully they will. But leave them something. You don't have to write a complete rule book, but leave a good trail of breadcrumbs for them so that it makes their transition into the workplace that much easier. Just think about it. Think about where you're going when you're leaving that position. Wouldn't you love it if someone who knew all the ins and outs of the job that you're about to go do left you just a few clues about where information is, how to troubleshoot certain things that happen all of the time, what people to go to for which questions, different things to watch out for. Don't throw anybody under the bus, but different things to watch out for would be really very good to know. So leave some sort of a cheat guide or short tutorial, some sort of concentrated amount of information for the person who's going to come in and take the place that you are leaving vacant. And lastly, I've saved the most important point for last, actually, because it will help you to do the other 4. Be grateful. Even if you hope that you never hear the name of that company again, see the building, see any of the people that work there, even if you just hope that it just all fades out into nothing, find a point of gratitude. At one point, you were the new employee there. At one point, you really wanted that job. At one point, you probably really needed it. And regardless of how you feel at this point at the end, you have grown. So go and find the silver lining. Find that point. I have left offices that I couldn't wait to run out of, but I still took a step back and took a deep breath and realized, I've grown. I've grown in this way, this way, this way, and this way because I was here. And even though I am so grateful that I am out of here, I'm also grateful for these opportunities to grow, for the things that I experienced because I was here, and for the things that I was able to develop in myself while I was here. Those are the 5 things to make sure that you do so that when you leave a job, you don't burn a bridge. Check out the video description here. There's some freebies and little extras down there for you. Give me a thumbs up before you go. Subscribe to our channel. And until next time, I am Dr. Jane with Guild Coaching, guildcoaching.com. Have a beautiful day.